Hi everyone, my name is Tarun. Welcome to the session. The session especially to talk about running and to welcome you all to the world of running. Um, as we all know that running is really picking up nowadays, and more people are beginning to start running. And that's only a natural transition because running is actually the most natural thing that happens to us or that could happen to us. So I'm here today to take you through this journey of you, those who are beginning to start running or those who are thinking of it. So first of all, let me just introduce myself a little more. My name is Tarun. I've been running now for about 10 years. I've run about almost close to 50 half marathons officially and about 8 full marathons, in addition to a few ultras and a lot of trail runs in the mountains and things like that. So let's just start talking about running and why should you run. As a lot of people say that we are born to run, and that's just as good worth its weight in gold to believe. Running is actually one of the most natural things that we can do. Uh, it's one of our basic skill, which somehow over a period of time, as a part of being a civilized world, we've just kind of let go from our own basic abilities and thought process. It's a skill that we've just kind of put aside. So running as really before becoming a special exercise regime is our basic human skill that can brings us the most natural and a whole lot of benefits to our health, to our fitness, and everything. Um, a lot of other benefits about running are that it's something that very easy to adapt. It's something that we can just start in any kind of an ecosystem. It doesn't really require something special for us to do. Um, like they say, it's as simple as just putting one step ahead of other. So those of you thinking of running do not really need to, cross too many mental barriers. It's something which you can adapt to very easily, and at any point in time, and at any kind of space or place that you live in. It is free of all kind of mental and physical barriers. Another very important thing about running is that it's an individual activity. While it's always good to run with friends and groups, it's something you can always do on your own. And then it is also very time independent. You can run in the morning. A lot of people run in the afternoon. You can run in the evening. It's by itself a very liberated activity which doesn't has any kind of limitation or constraints, and it is also something which doesn't really bind you down to any kind of thing where it becomes difficult to run. So, talking about this, running also has a lot of physiological benefits. It has a lot of physical balance advantages, a lot of emotional and mental health advantages, which, as you go through the process of running, you discover. As I said, being a natural process, it activates your entire, not just body mechanics, but your mind and your cardiovascular health. Everything comes together on this, and that's the key about running. That how it really benefits you. So, if you've really just been thinking about it, I would say you must take your first step now. Uh, when it comes to running, also one of the mental barriers that we have is a lot of myths that we have around running. A lot of us get constrained by fear of the kind of damages physically that it could do to us. So I'll talk about them all in detail, uh, but let us understand it's very important to know the myths and the reality so that you can choose wisely. So the first and the foremost that everybody talks about is that running is bad for your knees. Now, let me tell you, running is not bad for your knees. Uh, Anything that you do in an incorrect way is going to have some kind of a damage on something or the other, any kind of an activity. Uh, Whether you are lifting weights, whether you are playing any sport, there is always a collateral, a possibility of any kind of an injury or something. So to say that running leads to this is somehow incorrect. Yes, if you do not do it right, it does lead to injuries and it can lead to any kind of a damage, and then which one starts perceiving that it is because of running that I got injured. So what's very important, that you learn how to run. And when I say you learn how to run, is again, as I said, it's your basic human innate ability. But over a period of time, our muscles have kind of become dormant. We've kind of forgotten how to engage ourselves into a good running form. So this is the learning process we need to get into, to learn and to understand, which unless you really start, you will not be able to know. So take your first step and you realize that running is actually good for your health. Another thing that comes with running is that a lot of people think that running one should not start at a later age. Again, I would just say it's your basic ability. It is totally age independent. I started running at the age of 40 and today I'm just close to 50. And I've been running, and trust me, I've only got better. When I did my first half marathon, I was beginning to get into this space of running. I was very physically fit. I used to be a very regular gym enthusiast. But then I never used to run. And I started running at that time. And I clocked my first half marathon in 2 hours 46 minutes. Now, after 10 years of running, I clocked my half marathon in 1 hour 38 minutes. So if you see, with age, instead of digressing, I've actually progressed. That is how I've improved in running. That is how I've learned. And I can tell you, I feel much better. I feel far more fitter than what I used to when I was 40. That's something, it's totally a big myth to say that running is, age is kind of a hindrance to the running. Yes, the age does lead to certain amount of degeneration, which can curtail the amount of intensity, but then it doesn't stop you. It doesn't stop you from running, and believe me, once you start running, it's actually like a reverse aging process that you can get into. You start improvising, and your body mechanics, as I said earlier, start improvising. Your entire body system, your biological cycles, they start getting more functional and more active. So there's nothing better that you could do to stay fit than to start running. Another thing about running as a myth is when they say running leads to a lot of unwanted weight loss. Yes, it leads to weight loss, but unwanted is a wrong word to prefix here, because when you're losing unwanted and undesirable fat from your body, it is not the unwanted weight that you're losing. You actually gain on muscles and you gain on your strength, and you shed away all those undesirable fat that you've been accumulating in your body. Like I'll tell you, when I started running, as I told you, I was heavily into gymming. I was very regularly into weight training, and I used to weigh about 74 kgs. Today, after 10 years of running, without having consciously tried, I am about 64 kgs. I've lost this weight, and when I typically get my body analysis done, my fat percentage is much lower, my muscle mass is much higher, which only indicates that my health has become better. So there is no denying that I've lost weight. Sometimes, yes, people tell me that I look skinnier, but then that's our perception. We have to know how we feel. What we feel right now is what is more important. And as I said once again in the beginning, it is something you need to experience to understand how your body transforms from one level of fitness to another level of fitness. And that's only running that can bring to you. Another thing about running is walking. There is no doubt walking has its benefit. It's a moderate form of exercise, and it does kind of keep you active and healthy. But running is like a next step to walking. So if you've been walking, it's advisable, unless of course you have any other medical ailment which prevents that. In which case you could see if you can slowly step into running. But if your health permits you, you must transit from walking to running. So walking to running is only a natural progression for you to move from point A to point B and to improvise yourself and to stay healthier and fitter. So I hope this would just clear up a lot of your doubts. You can always leave with your queries in comments, and we'll keep answering your questions and concerns. Um, um, Now what I want to do, I want to just tell you some basics about running. Because a lot of times the mistake that we all make, or unknowingly we kind of get into this trap, is about starting to run with few things wrong, and in which case what happens is that we get injured, or anything else that becomes a kind of a mental block for us, and then we start blaming the running, or we get disheartened, and it obviously gets difficult for us to come back to this. So first of all, I want to tell you that when you want to start running, if you haven't been running before, the first step to running is that you start walking. Why is this first step? Is because you need to get into a space where your body can undergo a sustained period of workout. So you can start with say 30 minutes of walking, slowly going up to 35, 40 minutes of walking, and around 40 minutes is a kind of a threshold which is just the right enough for you to do something, some activity like this. Beyond that, your body starts getting tired, so the benefits are really low. And if you're able to do that 40 minutes of walk, then you can slowly start with walk run. So you can just go out and run a little, maybe for a minute, whatever you can, a 2-minute run, and then you start walking. So club the two, and slowly let your body get used to it, let your cardiovascular system get used to it, and let your body kind of adapt to this new activity which you've not been doing so far. This should be the transition for you to gradually convert your 40-minute walks to a 40-minute run. So that's a process you'll have to go through slowly and keep monitoring yourself and build on it. Another very important thing here to know is that what is the next step to it, so that you kind of, your body starts adapting to it better. So once you are kind of doing this activity, few basics that you need to understand is that before any workout, you must do a kind of a warm up, because your body, from a static to a dynamic mode, from doing nothing at one point in time to suddenly getting into an activity, requires a certain kind of a warm up, so that your blood circulation is in a position, your heart is in a position to pump enough blood to your muscles so that they can be active. So I will just demonstrate few basic stretches that you can do before you start your run. So you're standing here right straight up. One of the simplest thing is you do your arm circles. You can do one arm at a time, and then you will do that in reverse direction as well. And then you'll continue doing this with the other arm in both the directions. Another movement is you swing your arm sideways, which helps you open up your shoulder blades, which helps you engage your core region, which is very important for your balancing your body and your weight. You can stand straight, and you can just try and lift your arms up, reaching out for the sky. can stand with your legs wider next and do side bends. Again, while standing the same way with your legs wider, you can do alternate toe touch, bending forward, slowly reaching as down as you can, trying to reach your toe. Don't push yourself too much, but keep trying to increase your range of motion each time we go down. Then you can do very soft jog on the spot. Or you can do some butt kicks, where your heels touch your butt. The next thing you can do is high heels, slowly lifting your knees up. Try to get them to touch your palm of your hand. So as you saw that, my heart rate was going up. This is also very important. When your heart rate goes up, your heart starts pumping more blood, and that is what you need when you get into any active mode. Otherwise, you start losing your breath. So, important takeaways here. You must do a little bit of a warm-up before you start your running. If you're beginning to walk, then you perhaps do not really need this warm-up, because walking is by itself a very low intensity exercise. But if you're going to start running straight away, then you must do this warm-up. It's also advisable to do a little bit of a cool down after you run. It helps your body to relax. The cool down can just be in the form of a mild walk for a few kilometers, which will just help your body relax. Now comes a very important part of strength training. Now, I did tell you that running is a basic activity and a very natural skill for us to possess. But that doesn't mean our body is strong enough to take up running. Many times when we start running, our body obviously adapts to it in a very natural way, but our body is not strong enough yet to start running. So what happens is that after a certain amount of running, we tend to get injured. So to prevent that injury, what is very important is when we start running, we also start building some amount of strength with it. As we grow older, our muscles also start degenerating. So that's again a very important thing for us to do, so that our muscles stay active and strong. Running has, I've been saying this time and again, as something which has kind of been eliminated out of our lifestyle. So when we are trying to relearn or readapt to something in our lives, a lot of our muscles which are not used to this but need to function to be able to run need to be activated and need to be made stronger. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to show you 4 basic exercises which can help you a lot in overall body strength. And if you were to start doing them, you can start with maybe just one set, as less as 1 step, going up to 2 or 3 sets of at least about 10 repetitions of these. These 4 exercises that I'll show you, which will almost cover your entire body workout, and they'll go a long way in keeping you strong. So let me demonstrate here for you. The first one that I'm going to show you is called push-up. Push-up is a very simplest and the basic form of exercise, but it is the most effective and result-oriented exercise. So when we do a push-up, what we need to understand, it's primarily for upper body strength. We'll get down on our toes. If you are strong enough, we'll be on our toes and we'll keep our hands under the shoulder and we will go down straight. But if you feel you are not yet strong enough to do this, you can come down on your knees and you will roll down, pivoting on your knees till you feel strong enough to move to the next level. What is very important is that your entire body, from your heels to the top of your head, is in one line. You must observe that you are not bending down like this and doing this, or popping up and doing this, because in both the cases you are only stressing your muscles and you are not really benefiting from here. So you can just watch me once again. You are here and you drop straight down. And this is a push-up. As I said, it is the most simplest and most effective exercise for your upper body. The second one I want to show you is a squat. You need to stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing straight, your hands up in the air next to your ear, and you would go down in a squat and come up. Let me show you from the side, because what is very important here when you go down, and that's the reason you are keeping your arms up, is that you are not bending forward. You have to stay tall, the spine will stay neutral, chest will stay out, and you will force your back towards this side so that you engage your hamstrings, your quadriceps, and your glute muscles. You are here, you are looking in front. Remember, you are not bending forward, because if you bend forward, your legs get relieved. You are staying tall. If you find it tough, then just go down as much as you can. The stronger you feel, the deeper you can go. It's a very good exercise which makes your legs stronger, your glute muscles stronger, your hamstrings, your quads. It's just the perfect combination that you require. The third exercise I want to show you is called a lunge. For doing a lunge, you need to stand tall. Again, feet shoulder width apart. You can keep your hands on your waist or on the side. Primarily, they will just help you balance yourself. You'll step out with one leg. What is important here is that when you're here, your knee does not cross your toe. So you are not going forward like this. You are here, and at this point you'll drop down. Your knee can touch the ground softly and come up. Come back. As I said, your hands can be on your waist. What is very, very important is that your knee does not go forward. Your knee stays here, you go down, and you come back. So this was the third exercise. These three exercises have covered most part of our body. The fourth exercise that I'm going to tell you will be primarily focused on our core. Now, core is one part which is most ignored, but it is most critical. Why it is critical? Because in our physical anatomy, if we see, we have a lot of bones all over which kind of help us support and maintain our balance. In the core region, we have only muscles and our spine that runs through. So the single spine, which actually almost acts like a point of contraflexure, is where our entire body is pivoted. It is one point where every movement gets converged onto a single bone. So it's very important that we develop all these muscles because they are the ones which will help us balance. One of the reasons most of us get backaches is because our muscles in the core region are weak, and then it leads to extra loading on our back. So it's very important that we keep our core region very strong, and that helps us balance ourselves in any form of movement. Now about plank that I was telling you, which we will do for the core workout, we'll do a very simple basic form of planking. You have to lie down flat, your toes pointing backward, you'll turn them in, your hands on the side, you're resting your elbows down, and you'll slowly lift yourself up. Palm of your hands are facing down, and you stay up, engaging your core, using those core muscles, activating them, and balance here. What you will not do is pop yourself up. One moment you do that, you will be putting the pressure on your back or go down. So you will stay neutral. You have to find that spot when you're here, slowly lift yourself up, come to a point where the entire load comes on your core muscles. And you'll hold yourself here, nice and strong, pushing your palms down on the ground and squeezing your butt. It's very important to put that extra pressure on your core. You'll stay here for at least 30 seconds, and once you're done, you'll slowly just drop your knees and come up. Remember, it's very important how you start the plank and how you break the plank. So when you are here, you slowly lift yourself up and come into plank, pushing the pressure through palm of your hands and squeezing your butt hard. And when you break, you slowly drop your knees and you will come back. A key to core is, if you're getting better at it, do not do this more than 60 seconds. 60 seconds of plank is good enough. You can do this in repeated cycles of more than once. So these 4 exercises that I've demonstrated for you are a comprehensive workout for any level or any sort of fitness, physical fitness that you want. And as a runner, if you start running, this is something which will help you a long way. It will keep you injury free and it will prevent any kind of a muscular damage. So let us just recap on what we've done today. If you want to start running, you must, because that's the best form of exercise you can do, but step into it slowly. You start with your walks, start slowly building up your runs, converting your walks into runs, and slowly letting your runs take over your entire walk. Initial workout of about 40 minutes is more than what you need. Keep in mind to do the warm-up before you start working out. It helps your body prepare yourself for the intensity that's going to get engaged in, and start working on your strength. The 4 exercises that I've shown you are very important. So do that, take care of it. 2 things here which we haven't spoken about, which by itself require a whole new session, which we'll take up later sometime, is hydration, that is water and salt intake, and nutrition, because those are our fuel, and it's very important when we consume our body resources, muscular resources, we keep refueling them. So as a basic tip, what I would suggest is that keep eating proper and healthy meals and keep drinking a lot of water through the day and during the workout as well. So guys, I hope you all liked being here today. We'll keep coming back to you with more information and more tips. Till the time, if you have any questions, any queries, please feel free to drop them. I'll be very happy to answer them. And hope you all start running soon. It's been good to be here with you all. Have a wonderful day ahead.